All right, let's dive in. Today, we're going to explore a really cool idea. What if you could build the entire massive English language from just a handful of core words? We're about to see how mastering the simple can unlock a world of complexity.
So let me ask you this. To really communicate, to get your ideas across clearly, how many words do you think you absolutely need? 1,000? 5,000? What's your guess?
The answer is probably way lower than you thought. It's 850. That's it. And this isn't just some random number. It's the heart of a whole system designed to make English a truly global language. That system is called Basic English. And the whole idea, the whole philosophy behind it, is that with this carefully chosen toolkit of 850 words, you can say pretty much anything you need to. It's all about being powerful and precise with a small but incredibly effective vocabulary. So here's our game plan for today. We're going to start with the big picture, this 850-word language. Then we'll zoom way in on a single case study, the word judge, to see how it works as a person and then as an action. And finally, we'll zoom back out to see how that one little word connects to a whole web of other ideas, which really shows you the power of simple. Okay, first up, the 850-word language. It's easy to think a small vocabulary is a limitation, but Basic English flips that idea on its head. Think of these words less like a cage and more like a set of master keys. Each one is picked because it's super versatile and can unlock tons of meaning when you put them together.
Now, to really get how this works, we have to get our hands dirty. Let's put one of these core words right under the microscope. We're going to look at the word judge. Seems pretty simple, right? But you're about to see just how much meaning is packed into this one word.
And yep, you guessed it, the word judge is officially on that list of 850 essential words. It's considered one of the fundamental building blocks of communication, and we're about to find out why.
So let's start with the way we usually think about this word, a judge, as a person, as a noun. Let's break down the different roles this one word can actually represent.
At its absolute most basic level, a judge is just a person who decides or chooses. That's it. It's a beautifully simple definition, but it covers a ton of ground, from a courtroom all the way to a baking competition. But even in this simple known form, there's a lot of depth. On one hand, you have the meaning we all know, the legal one, someone who decides cases in court. But then, on the other hand, you've got this biblical meaning, where a judge was a leader of the people. Two totally different jobs, but they're both captured by this one powerful word. And here's that classic example. The judge decides cases. This is probably the picture that pops into your head, right? The person in the robe, in the courtroom, making a final decision. It's the most straightforward use of that legal meaning. And then you have this. Samson was a judge of Israel. Whoa. Suddenly, the meaning shifts completely. We are not talking about a courtroom anymore. We're talking about leadership, about authority over an entire nation. It just goes to show you how flexible one single noun can be. Okay, let's switch gears. Now we're going to look at judge not as a person, but as an action, as the verb, to judge. And this is where the word's power really starts to multiply. So the verb form really has three distinct but related jobs. First, it can mean just to choose or decide something. Second, it can mean to evaluate, to figure out if something is good or bad. And third, it can mean to estimate or to make a guess. So for that first meaning, to choose or decide, you get a sentence like this. He judged in favor of the defendant. This is basically the action version of what we saw before, the act of making that formal official decision. Now, check out how the meaning shifts here. They judged the beauty pageant. Suddenly, judged has nothing to do with the law. It's all about evaluation. It's about applying a set of standards to figure out quality, or in this case, beauty. And this example nails that third meaning perfectly. I would judge that the lake holds 1,000,000 gallons. Here, the word basically means to estimate or to guess. You're forming an opinion based on what you can see, but without any exact measurements. So, we've seen just how much work one word can do. But now it's time to zoom back out. See, the word judge doesn't just exist on its own. It's actually the center of a whole web of related ideas, and once you understand it, you open the door to a much bigger world. Just look at this. Once you really get the core concept of a judge, you have the key to unlock this entire legal vocabulary. Words like court, defendant, lawyer, guilty, innocent, they all circle around that one central idea. So by mastering one simple word, you get a foothold into a whole new area of complex thought. Pretty amazing. We've gone from this huge idea down to a single word and then all the way back out again. But so what? Why does any of this actually matter? Well, it matters because it tells us something really fundamental about how language works, and more importantly, how we learn.
Here's the big takeaway. Mastering a small set of these foundational words, like the ones in basic English, isn't about dumbing things down, not at all. It's about building a powerful and flexible foundation. From these simple building blocks, you can construct and understand some incredibly complex ideas.
And that leaves us with one last thing to think about. Think about a complex topic you know really well. Maybe it's science, or art, or something from your job. What complex idea could you explain using only simple foundational words? The answer to that? Well, it might just be the key to better communication for all of us.